Welcome everybody to another edition of TalkingWithHeroes.com talk show program. I am Bob Calvert, your host, and Ron Link is still behind the camera. He's a retired Army Ranger, 20 years of service to our country. And TalkingWithHeroes.com, that's our website. Also, thankyoufforyourservice.us, it's our online news site. As most of you know by now, you've probably watched a lot of the videos that we've had up here from Iraq. We're still here in Camp Ramadi. We're with Fort Bragg, 2nd Brigade, 82nd Airborne, and right now we're actually inside the Ramadi Level 2 aid station. And Sergeant Joseph Haverty is standing by over here, and we're going to hear from him in a few minutes, and then he's going to take us on a tour of the aid station. And they're with Brigade Support Battalion. This gentleman standing next to me. We have some interesting things we're going to hear here, folks. First Lieutenant Darren Rawlings, welcome to Talking with Heroes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how long you've served.
Well, I'm prior service. I've been in 11 years. I actually have an interesting background. I was in the Air Force and then crossed over to the Army. Now I'm a QuarterMaster Officer. I recently arrived at Fort Bragg this January. It's my first tour with them. I originally came out here to I don't know really what to talk about on that part there.
That's okay. You said you were a G4 advisor for the 7th Iraqi Army Division.
Yes, my mission did change, and I became the G4 advisor for the 7th Iraqi Army Division. We're there to partner with the Iraqi Army and work on their sustainment operations, such as mechanical training, medical training, supply management. A lot of their focus in the past years has been on lower level training, field training. What we're trying to do is make sure that the Iraqi Army can sustain itself for 3 years, and that involves higher echelon training, back shop mechanical wear, actual full-blown medical clinics, making sure the automated supply system is working properly, and that's the harder goal that we're focusing on.
You came in today from Al-Assad to meet with us, right?
Yes, I flew in last night. There's a little tiny Camp Majid outside Al-Assad where the Iraqi Army Division stays, and that's where we're embedded with them.
Okay, now you've had more than one deployment, right?
Yes, I have.
To Iraq or another location?
Both times to Iraq with 3rd Brigade, 4th ID.
Okay, talk a little bit about the differences you've seen from your previous deployment to now, as far as progress.
The prior deployments were all U.S. mission focused. A BSB's typical mission just to supply the brigade with all its supplies that it would need. Now we're really taking a more active involvement with partnership, and we're trying to look at the bigger picture, which is eventually U.S. departure from Iraq. That involves a lot of tough love that we wouldn't have done back in '07. Back then we were always trying to meet and build wasta, as the Iraqis like to refer it, how much goodwill you can have with each other. Now we're trying to politely step back and train them to use their own supply systems and use their own knowledge and think outside the box so that they can sustain themselves for the long run.
Okay, so are you working directly with Iraqi leadership, with the troops themselves? Yes,
we frequently have divisional bubs with the Iraqi Army Division.
What is that?
Sorry.
I mean, I just got told what it was for people watching.
Just a battle update brief. A morning meeting, think of it that way, with the division commander, his brigade commanders, lieutenant colonels, and then I frequently go out and I do meetings with units such as the Field Engineer Regiment, the Field Factory Workshop, the Al-Assad Medium Workshop, all upper echelon mechanical, engineering, medical facilities, to talk with the commanders and find out how the training is going, what they need as far as additional training or resources, and I have to evaluate whether or not if it's beneficial for us to provide it, or if I can steer them in the right direction to acquire the training or the parts themselves.
What I've been seeing on previous trips is the average Iraqi soldier being trained. You're up at a higher level with the leadership of the Iraqi Army, which is really important.
Yes, when we first got here, we were going to take on that role as typical, and then we started digging deeper and we were pushing. We're like, what do you really need to stand up by yourself? And we finally got it. Every unit commander was like, we don't need field training anymore. We can run splints. We can change tires. What we need to work on is the upper level, is the back shops. When engines need to be overhauled, who can tear apart a transmission? That's the training that we're focused on. The medics, they can put splints on and they can do triage, but they can't evaluate a casualty for upper respiratory infection or diagnose skin lesions, things like more advanced situations.
So how is it working with the Iraqis? What's your experience, say, from the time you got here till now?
Well, I've only been working with them 6 weeks, and we're hammering down on a few key areas. For example, their maintenance knowledge is very broad, but they need specific guidance on things such as electrical troubleshooting. So there are a few pockets of areas that we're really focusing in on to get our best bang for the buck in preparation for our departure. Such as medical training is going very well. We're trying to do train-the-trainer activities and making the divisional clinics push down to the lower units so that Iraqi soldiers are training Iraqi units. And the supply system, we're working to bring back the automated system so that divisions can look at each other's supplies and request parts laterally through each other.
So it's been 6 weeks, but you're happy with what the results you're seeing?
Yes, I'm very happy. There's always room for progress. The hard part of my job is trying to find out what is an acceptable level of it's good enough. We can't compare Eastern standards with Western standards of work philosophy, and we have to try and determine what's good enough, because it will never be our standard because they have different priorities, and we have to respect that. And so, and I can't give, of course, exact timelines, but I predict in the next few months we will eventually start to tailor off and take more of a quality assurance approach to it and just watch them conduct, and eventually step in and say, no, try it this way, and then we'll back off again. And that's the ultimate intent.
So the plan right now is by the end of the year, the big drawdown, and it's already happening because we're hearing places being closed, and it's a process, right?
It is a process. I don't have specific knowledge on any timetables of that, but I have to be prepared to train for the entire year. But of course, it would be great if we could pull out at that time, and if we don't, we'll stay, and it gives us more leeway to slowly pull out and observe the training, observe the systems that we're trying to build.
Great. Well, this is great. I appreciate you being sent here and sharing all this with us.
Anytime.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the American people about what's happening here? Maybe talk a little bit about continuing to support the troops, too. Care packages, you're just here a short time, so I don't know, are you getting care packages at all yourself?
Yes, we are getting care packages, and they're greatly appreciated. There's nothing like receiving some body wash that you can't get over here from the States. It's just little pieces like that make a soldier feel really at home.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Would you like to give a shout out to some family and friends back home?
I'd like to say hi to my wife. Jennifer, I love you, honey. I know I haven't been there for any anniversary yet. I think I've missed 5 for 7, but looks like next year will be good, and I can't wait to be there for your graduation.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you.
Thank you.